Hi there everyone, I want to welcome you back to the Freedom Range. We're here today on this pretty sunshiny day. We bought a new toy for the range to plink around with, and as you can tell by the thumbnail, we're going to unbox it today and show you about it. And the title of this right here is going to be The Heritage, the Good and the Bad and the Ugly. And so we'll explain as we go, but let me show you what we got. Here's what we brought out today. This is only two Heritage Rough Riders I own. And the first one we bought was this 22 revolver here, 6-inch barrel. Well, I've had it for quite a while, and we'll talk about it a little bit. And what I brought to unbox is this Rough Rider Rancher here, Heritage Rough Rider Rancher. And I got a little bit of ammo, so we'll talk about the good and the bad and the ugly right here just in a minute. We'll get set up and we'll show you what we got. Okay, like I said, you know, we're just going to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly on these things. On these Heritage Rough Riders, my experience with them, and maybe someone else has bought them and maybe had some of the same experiences I have, but there's a lot of good about them. Like I said, we bought this one first, and the good part about these, they are made in the United States, made by Americans for Americans, and they're a pretty good plinking toy. They do have a safety on them. A lot of people don't like that on this style of gun. The only thing of it is that when I first bought this one, the bad part of it was it had a screw that loosened up on us and fell out on the range and we lost it. That's the bad part of it. The good part of it is that they were cheap. This one was on the cheap side, like $149. And they actually shoot good, you know, when you get them out here. They're just fun to plink around with. And we'll discuss that a little more. This one here came with the regular 22 LR cylinder, and it also came with that 22 Magnum cylinder. And that being said, let me show you what the new one we bought. And what we bought is the Rancher. And when it just comes just like this with a 22 LR cylinders, all it comes with. It does have swivels for the sling. It came with those, the stock and whatever. Had a nice leather sling with it. It's got the buckhorn sights. You can adjust the windage and the elevation on it. It's got a real nice stock on it, walnut. It's solid. The fit and finish on this one's actually pretty good, whereas some of the regular revolvers fit and finish are lacking. That's another bad point about them. And it's got a fixed front sight on it. And this gun was pretty reasonable too. It wasn't all that high. It's a little over $200 and some. I've actually shot it some, and it does shoot pretty good. And also I want to let you know too that we was talking about the revolver I showed you first, that it had a screw that fell out and was missing. And this one here also it had a screw that was loose right here in the frame, and I took it back to the place that I bought it from, and they fooled around with it and said they got it fixed. It was tight, you know, so we brought it back out here to the range and shot it a few more rounds and it loosened up again. And so I got to looking at it, and the threads were stripped in there. So I took and got a longer screw and put in there so it'd go up in there a little further. The screw that was originally in there was short, and I put a longer screw in it, and I believe we got it fixed. And actually, I went down to another gun store yesterday, and I was just looking for the regular revolver with a 16-inch barrel on it, and they actually had one, and when I went in and looked at it, I picked it up and got to looking at the screws in it, and it had one missing. So that's another bad point about these. The quality control is not much. I wished that Heritage would make better frames. These frames are made out of alloyed steel. They're not, alloyed metal. They're not actual steel. The cylinder and the barrel is steel, but the frames are not. That's a cheap setup, and they need some quality control, something on these screw deals here, because that's not a coincidence when you buy a revolver and you have problems with the screw, and then you buy one of these and one's stripped Then you go to another gun store and there's one missing. So the quality control, they need to get better with that, and they need to, you know, I wouldn't care to pay a little extra if they make them a little better and make these out of steel. And that being said, I'll get set up and we'll shoot it. We'll shoot it a few times and see what we think. Okay guys, we're set up. We're set up to shoot it some. I'm not gonna shoot no further than what I got the target set up. I got some set up for about 20 and 25 yards estimate. The main purpose of this video is just to tell y'all some of the experiences I've had with it and the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've done told you some of the bad things about it. I hope Heritage gets them worked out, the quality control on the frame screws, and maybe some of the better steel, or putting steel in the frames and making better frames, and maybe the little better fit and finish on some of the revolvers. And that being said, let us load it up and shoot it a few rounds. And this one here, of course, if you fool with them, you know, but you half cock it. Then you open your little gate here up and you put your 6 rounds in it and you'll be ready to roll. Put the 6 rounds in it. Just open it up, slide them right in there. We'll get ready to shoot them. If you do buy one of these to take out on the range to plink around with, just remember, before you ever leave the gun store, check the screws in it, make sure. I'd have them even check the thing to see if they're tight. Because like I said, 3, I could understand 1 being a mistake or a problem, but three different gun stores, there's something wrong with that part of it. And that being said, we'll shoot some. We've got to take our safety off. Remember our little safety. And we'll shoot some, get my earplugs in, and we'll see what happens. Safety off, cocked it, and this little piece right here is for your support hand. Don't never, of course, if you've shot them, you know, don't never ever put your hand up around this cylinder. I'll show you why not here in a little bit. That's the part of the ugly part that I want to say. But don't never put your hand up here or up here. Always keep it right here. That's what that's for. So you put the firing finger here and you support hand over here. All right, let's get her off safety and see what happens. Alrighty, that's it. Hit it all but one time, and that was me that done that. When you get ready to unload the thing, you open your gate back up and you put it on half cock. And then you take this little piece right here, get them lined up, and you shoot them right out. Twist it around, shoot them right out. Shoot them right out. Pretty simple. They're pretty fun. There we go. Let's load this up 5 more. Like I said, these things are fun. They're fun to play with. Heritage is just, they need to just do a little more work to get them a little more better, and they'd be right there, you know, as far as something to plink around with and play around with. And I was going to say something else too. You do not want to allow kids to use these guns or shoot them, and I'll tell you why. We got 5 bore in it. When you got this gun up, it's just like having a pistol right up in your face, and of course you should always wear safety glasses, but when you got it up, there's that, you can feel a little bit of powder residue, and when you discharge a bullet, it'll blow back and hit you in the face. Make sure, I mean, you can feel it every now and then hitting your face and stuff, and I don't believe the kids ought to be shooting it. That's one bad part about it too. Of course, I mean, what do you expect with a pistol, you know, with a rifle stock on it. That's another bad part about it. So let us shoot it 5 more times. Get her safety off. Get her earplugs in. Put her safety back on. We better put our earplugs in. That's another thing about this too. you wouldn't think it for a 22 LR, but this thing's loud where it's right up in your face. It's pretty loud. Of course, you'll need to wear earplugs all the time anyway. Alrighty, there's 5 more. There's 5 more. I'm gonna tell you what, I'll be right back with you. I'm gonna change out and put in the Magnum cylinder and we'll see how. Okay, we're back and I changed it out and I put in the 22 Magnum cylinder back in it, I've never actually even shot the Magnums yet out of them. This will be the first time for any of them, for the pistol or this one. So, half cock, we'll load this up some 22 Magnum and we'll shoot a cylinder of them right there through, and then I'll show you why I'm talking about the cylinder there for the ones that may not know. These wrenches right here, it would be a common mistake, I believe, if you're not careful, not aware of it, don't stay aware of it, that a person would want to support up here or something, you know, and not do it like that. I mean, you automatically want to, I wouldn't even do it like this. I've seen some of the videos, people doing it like that. I wouldn't even do that. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why this hook's there, for the support hand, and then your trigger hand. And just remember that. Let's put our earplugs in. We'll shoot one cylinder of these Magnums through. See, like I said, I've never shot no Magnum through any of them, so this ought to be interesting. Get our safety off. Got our earplugs in. Let's see what happens. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't believe the percussion that blows back, that will blow back on you when you're doing the 22 Magnum right there. So just be aware of that. It's going to happen. Don't never ever try to shoot one of these without a pair of safety glasses on and earplugs. We need to be safe all the time anyway. Now what I'm going to do, like I said, this video was for the sole purpose of telling you my experience with them, because a lot of people going out and buying these, they can't hardly keep these in the gun store. So the sole purpose of this was to show you tell you my experience and show you my experience with them. Like I said, I would recommend them if you check the screws in the frames. Make sure you got one that's got they're seated properly and they're right. And remember about letting kids use them, because they might get their hands on this cylinder or whatever. And you don't want to run them off and they don't want to shoot anymore, and that stuff blowing back and hitting you in the face. And I hope you can get a good look at this. I'm going to show you. Let me put my earplugs in. Put my earplugs in and I want to show you why you should never have your hand at that cylinder. Hopefully I can give you a good demonstration without the wind, if the wind would calm down, of how it would. See how it done? That's what it would do to your hand. So you don't never want to have your hand nowhere close to that. And that's what I'm saying. With this, you've got to be extra cautious and pay close attention, because you know it could be a common mistake for somebody that's not familiar, don't know, that could walk up and you can hand them this on the range, and they could walk up and put their hand here. Can you imagine? I mean, that's what it would do to your hand. I mean, it ain't gonna rip it like paper, but I mean, it's gonna hurt and burn. And so that's what I was wanting to share with you. Like I said, it's it's about stupid really, but I mean, it's just stupid enough to bring out to the range and plink around with, as long as we keep in mind the safety aspect of it, wear safety glasses and our earplugs. And I hope that you got some knowledge from this, and go out and get you one. Get you one of them, take them out on the range. I mean, they are a good plinking toy. They really are. And I wish that Heritage would hear this and maybe do some of the stuff they need to do to improve this, the frames and the screws and some of the fit and finishes and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care to pay a little extra for them. And if this video was helpful to you, I'd ask that you would hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And remember, God loves you. And until the next time, may God bless you and your family.